Dorks and Forks is brought to you by His and Hers Couples Boutique, Kirkwood Highway, Wilmington.
Dorks and Forks.
So you've got quite the background as a culinary expert.
Yeah, I've been a lucky guy. TV has been nice to me, and they decided to have me on after the first time, so I consider myself lucky.
And this is Food Network.
Food Network, yeah, correct. So Beat Bobby Flay, Guys Grocery Games, 3 episodes of that. I went on the Thanksgiving episode, should rerun in a couple of weeks, and then I made it to the finals and lost. And then they invited me back for Redemption. Won the first of the Redemption episodes. Won the first in that tournament. And then I was so excited to have won $16,000 that I went and tanked in the first round in the next one and went, took my butt back to Delaware from California. But I made sure I got an In-N-Out burger while I was there.
There you go.
So I hear the In-N-Out's animal style. I hear that's the way.
You've never had an In-N-Out before,
no,
right?
I've never really been west.
They're so good, man.
It is so good.
They're so good.
I didn't believe it, and I had my first one when I was out there on just a casual trip, and then I found out that there was one about 2 miles away from where the hotel was for Guys Grocery Games. So I walked, and later found out that the area that I walked through to get to In-N-Out Burger was probably not the best area for me to be walking to.
Which one?
But
Hollywood?
It's Santa Rosa, but it's like this weird sort of area, Santa Rosa. Walking out there was like, they were like, "Hey man, don't do that again today."
Yikes.
So I was like,
Yikes.
"All right."
Wow.
But loved it. Guys Grocery Games is a great show. He is a phenomenal human being.
Yeah.
He does tons of charity work locally out there. All the food from the grocery store goes to local charities once they're done with it. Yeah. He's a huge Make-A-Wish supporter, among other things. So in between takes, he was like outside, hanging out with Make-A-Wish kids and stuff like that. So just a great human being. And what people don't know is that he is just all about that. The integrity of that show, each round of that show being true to form and things like that. Yeah. And, he doesn't like any complaining. And there was a little, we had one of the contestants that complained a little bit behind the scenes, and he, hit with a pause on the take and, redirected the guy's behavior and then went right into it. So he's like, he's all about the gratitude, and you beat out thousands and thousands of people to be there.
Right.
So, just enjoy it and, follow the rules. The rules are the same for everybody. It's not like they're different. And they are hard. I mean, it is difficult. It is a grocery store that they build in a warehouse. Probably shouldn't have said that.
No.
Well,
but it is a grocery store staged, and you run through the grocery store. The grocery store is not air conditioned.
Oh,
so you're
kind of like here today. So, all right, so you're right at home here.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And the grill that they have next to you is the hottest grill known to man.
Wow.
I mean, it is unbelievably hot,
and you've got all the lights on you.
The lights and everything like that, and the grill is like lava rock hot.
Wow.
So you run through the grocery store. You have 30 minutes to prep 4 plates. You do 3 plates for the judges, 1 plate for the camera shot. And you have to, whatever the game is. So you have to have a budget battle where you have $12.99 to make a Thanksgiving feast, and they give you coupons. Or you have to create a meal with all foods that start with the letter R.
Wow.
Or, you can only buy 6 pounds worth of food, and you have to make this, this, and this. So it is really challenging. Or here's the Daiso ingredients, and you got to roll the dice, and everybody's got to use radishes, or everybody's got to use queso fresco, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So it's super, super hard. So by the time I did that, then go into Beat Bobby Flay, I felt like Beat Bobby Flay was a lot more simple because all of your ingredients are right there. You don't have to go running through the grocery store.
Right.
You actually have 45 minutes instead of a half hour.
Wow.
And if you get to the round where you go against Bobby Flay, then you know what you're making ahead of time. So you have it figured out in your head versus Guys Grocery Games, which literally the only time you have to think about your item is the amount of time it takes for them to shift the boom on the camera.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And that's there. And, then he does his little 3, 2, 1 go thing where he never says it the same way, but everybody stutter steps on their way out and stuff like that.
Oh, man.
And he gets you every time, even though you know it's coming after you've watched an episode. Every single time he gets you.
Now, he also directs the show as well.
So there is a director, but he is very much in control of the show and how it moves and everything like that. So he pitches pitches the cameras around and stuff like that. And the crew is fantastic. And it was really cool going back the second time because the crew the first time was exactly the same the second time around. Like I had the same producer, and you each get a producer. So I had a producer. His name was Rick. Fantastic dude. He's worked on a bunch of other different shows like Project Runway and stuff like that. But they follow you around every single day. And the one thing that you don't know ahead of time is the further you get, the longer the interviews take afterwards, and that's when they do all of the stuff where you're like sitting in a room with like chili peppers behind you, and then you're going, and I'm getting ready to pull out my salmon, and I'm thinking, oh man, I hope it's not burnt. And your producer literally goes through every single step, every single ingredient, and he's like, hey, tell me what you're thinking in this moment. Hey, tell me what you're thinking in that moment. And you have to recap it all as if it's happening right now.
Yeah. Wow.
So the further you get, it's hours afterwards. So when you get to the finals and lose, you're like, oh man. And when I got out of my interview and the guy that beat me was already like in his hotel room, I was like, man, come on now.
Wow.
So yeah, beat Bobby Flay was too, and it's in the city. So when they do that interview afterwards, like there's trucks coming down the street and like beeping their horns and stuff like that, and you would get through like a full paragraph worth of something, and they were like, all right, you got to say it all over again. But that's super cool too. I mean, they really were classy about how they handled everything from start to finish, you know, sending me up on the train and stuff like that. And then, you know, he was very gracious the day of, and they have some producers there that were fantastic. One guy, Cliff, does a lot of like tasty videos now. He's a big Hawaiian dude. He was like my producer on my side of the kitchen. And it's funny because you have one guy on Bobby's side of the kitchen and one guy on your side of the kitchen. When I beat him, he came out, and I haven't been picked up by another man in so many years I can't, but he came and like bear hugged me and picked me up. He was like, oh man, that was so awesome. And just super cool when they treat you really, really well.
That's great.
And then you beat him with a scampi?
Scampi, yep, shrimp scampi.
That's good.
Made pasta there, and I had already figured out, like within 3-minute increments, exactly what I was going to do the entire show. Like I had just rehearsed it in my brain.
Nice.
I got out of my timeline, but then in the pasta rolling, I started rolling pasta with 2 hands. But the coolest part of the day for me, I mean, beating him was pretty cool, but Michael Voltaggio from Top Chef being one of the guest judges, and then Lance Bass from NSYNC was the second one. So
that's pretty cool.
They make you do something when you run out on stage. And they're like, you got to think of something where you fist bump, or you jump up and down, or you say something or something like that. And you don't know ahead of time who your guest judge is going to be until you're sitting backstage and they announce them. So when they announced Lance Bass, I was like, I know. So I walked out on stage and I did a little bye thing, like, from the music video. He loved that and appreciated that. He was really cool too. So
yeah, I hear he's a really nice guy.
Oh, super nice guy. Awesome. And really into food. And he got up and walked around and talked. Both him and Michael did. They came out and talked to us on our stations and stuff like that. And Michael was super cool too. And Michael's a Maryland boy originally. And his brother Brian, he has restaurants in Maryland as well, but his brother Brian has a few more than he does, and I've been down to Volt in Maryland, and it's fantastic. So
yeah, that's great. That's great. So I'm watching the lovely Miss Heather prepare some Oktoberfest treats for us right now, and I really can't wait to sink my teeth into them. But before we talk about that...
Yeah, you're not making scampi for us today, are you?
No, it's one of those things that I do lots of scampi demos and stuff like that. So when I have something like this where it's like free form, I like to do something a little bit different. So we're going to do something a little Oktoberfest inspired. Some chicken thighs, mustard and pretzel crusted chicken thighs, some quick red cabbage kraut, which is kind of like more like braised cabbage than cabbage kraut, but still going with the same flavors. The salty, the sweet. Adding in the mustard and the pretzels there. It should be really good. And chicken thighs is like my ingredient right now. I just love it for everything.
Yeah, and Dan loves the dark meat.
I love dark meat.
Everything's plated up. It looks delicious.
It does look delicious. Tell us one more time what you've made for us, please, Chef.
Yeah, so we have pretzel mustard crusted chicken thigh with what I'm calling quick kraut for the day, but really braised red cabbage, which is one of my favorite things. Actually, something I had never had until I went to culinary school. I learned how to make it there, and I pretty much make it the same way. A little sweet, a little sour, a little salty, but perfect for that Oktoberfest theme. And then impromptu, made a little bit of Oktoberfest. We use Yingling Oktoberfest, a little bit of onions, thyme, and made kind of a beer blanc. So
Beer
a
blanc.
version of a beer blanc. But with some fancy schmancy Oktoberfest beer to tie all the flavors in together. So should be delicious. I like the thigh because it's moister than the.
We all love the thigh. And yes, we
and the
are.
breast.
I'm a thigh man.
We are pairing this, of course, drinking the Yingling Oktoberfest, and it's their homage to a German heritage beer. According to their website, it's copper in color, and the medium-bodied beer is a perfect blend of roasted malts with just the right amount of hops to capture a true representation of the style. I got to tell you what, I'm not going to lie, I'm not a heavier beer drinker. I'm happy with a PBR or a Natty Boh. And I said earlier, off camera or off microphone, like, do you like the beer? And I'm like, no. Yes, I actually do really like this beer now. I've had 2 of them, and it's a very palatable flavor. It's very
delicious.
smooth. It's not like, those hoppier IPAs. It has a perfect blend of everything. So check out the Yingling Oktoberfest. Brian, how's the dinner?
Well, let me just say it's a treat what you have made for us today. When it comes to overall appearance, flavor, the consistency of the chicken, cooked perfectly. This mustard, this briny from the slaw, and the beer blanc, as you call it, the nuts or the pretzels. I'm sorry, adds this crunch, and the textures. It's delicious. I mean, it's a treat, and thank you for coming to do this.
Let me get some ASMR on this. Hold on.
Oh my God!
It's an 11.
Thank you very much.
No, dude,
It's
this is
incredible. And you've read about the textures, like the most important thing. This is amazing.
yeah, it's a really nice coupling of
Well,
textures for sure.
and then you get the mustard seed, right?
Yep.
So that kind of pops in your teeth. There's so many different things going on in your mouth when you eat this dish.
You know what's funny is when you first get out of culinary school, you find yourself like, but how can I show more flash? How can I show more of my technique? How can I put more things on the plate? So you're like, oh, I want to do a sauce of this and a vinaigrette of that, and I want to do potato in 3 textures, and I want to do all this stuff. But then once you really figure out that it's just about how things taste, you start to take things off the plate. And this is, like I said, chicken thighs. You really can't go wrong there. Braised cabbage is one of my favorite things because it hits all of the sweet, sour, salty, bitter flavor profiles. You have a little umami here with mustard seed. But from a chef's perspective, it's funny, I cling to braised cabbage. There was a diner that was open 24 hours a day down the street from culinary school when I went to CIA, and they had roast chicken and braised cabbage, and it was on the menu all day long. You get a half chicken and braised cabbage, and it was one of the best things ever. They're still open up the street. I can't remember what the name of them is.
Oh, man.
But it's fantastic.
This is so good.
And cabbage is supposed to suck, right?
Yeah,
aren't supposed
it's
to
one of
enjoy
those
this.
things that people don't like.
I heard you say the word. I'm like, that's great.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
I really don't want
This is
cabbage.
delicious.
I love it. This is so good. So good. You knocked it out of the park, Chef.
Thank you very much.
For sure. And again, we'll have some videos of Chef's preparation of this delicious meal and the final product on our Instagram at Dorks and Forks Chef. Tell us a little bit about where we can find you online and taste your food in person.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as far as finding me online, I have my own website, www.robbiejester.com, but then on Instagram, Robbie_Jester. Facebook, you can just search Robbie Jester. But then I work for High Five Hospitality. We have 11 restaurants altogether, but I'm in charge of Stone Balloon Ale House, Limestone Barbecue and Bourbon, and Expectation, which just opened in July. So we really have concepts that run the full gamut. You can come to Stone Balloon and get a nicer experience. You can come to Limestone and get counter service style Texas barbecue sliced in front of you, smoked that day. What a lot of people don't know is a lot of barbecue restaurants, what they do, especially if they're not chef driven or something like that, they smoke like the chicken on Monday,
Right.
and then the pork on Tuesday, and then they reheat it every day. But
Right.
at Limestone, we literally smoke every single thing that you have that day. So once it's sold out, it's sold out.
Wow.
It's the freshest that it could possibly be for you.
Wow.
But I also have healthy home meal delivery. It's called Full Circle Food. It's www.fcfoodgroup.com. So that's my newest venture. I have a business partner, Tim Bolt. He and I met at culinary school. And we do gluten-free, dairy-free meals, 500 calories and under. So if you're somebody who has a busy schedule, trying to eat right, maybe has kids, doesn't have time to prepare, or you tried out one of those like HelloFresh or one of those like meal kit kind of things, Ours are fully prepared there for you. I find the convenience to be unbelievably helpful for me, because I might be going from the stone balloon to limestone or from full circle to expectations, and just having that meal to pop in the microwave, eat, enjoy, and to know that it's healthy. For me, my business partner and I have probably lost about 70 pounds together.
Wow.
Eating the meals, and it doesn't feel like we're depriving ourselves because it's chef-driven meals, and we really try to focus on technique to really get the same flavor profiles that you would.
Yeah.
So we do, like, for instance, a perfect example, we do a no sugar added barbecue sauce. It's a roasted red pepper barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
We slow caramelize the onions. We add a little bit of cinnamon in there because we're all pre-programmed to think that cinnamon is a sweet thing. So we put a little bit in there, and it tricks like your brain into thinking that it tastes sweet. And it's very simple: roasted peppers, tomatoes, just cooked that way. But I really enjoy it, and we try to do things like that where technique is at the forefront of what we're doing. It's fresh. It's meals for the week. Super convenient, super helpful for anybody. I mean, we have families that do it. We have singles that do it. Everybody has a different lifestyle now, so somebody might have. For instance, they're a programmer, but they work mainly overseas. So their work time might be from 1 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Right.
So nothing is available for them when they would go on lunch break, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Maybe a 24-hour diner if they're close enough to it. So this kind of fits everybody's lifestyle.
Yeah.
We're glad to offer it, and we've been very fortunate because it's going very well.
And what's the price point on those meals?
So the price point goes from, the more you buy, obviously, the cheaper it gets. But it goes from, I want to say, $14.50 for per meal for 3 meals, up to a 10-meal plan, which is $10.
Wow. That's great.
And we throw some seafood options in there as well. They're not on there every week, but pretty much every other week. There are some weeks where we do seafood in concession, but we just believe in, we want to do the right thing by our guest, our customer.
Yeah.
Offer a nice variety. We do have some staples for people that get used to, like to have the same thing every week for a little while. We offer breakfast options and things like that, but mostly just entrees and dinners. And we try to do fun takes on different things. So we do like a chicken marsala. That's not the sauce is made with butter, and the chicken is not drenched in flour.
Right.
It's more like just sauteed chicken, reduced well with the marsala wine sauce and things like that. We did a chicken sausage, pepper, and onions. We sourced a chicken sausage with spicy chicken sausage, did peppers, onions, homemade pomodoro sauce, and then do zucchini noodles. So simple swaps and stuff like that too, where people that are used to, like, the one thing that you always hear when somebody's trying to eat healthy is like, I just love pasta. Mm-hmm. So we try to do a lot of plays on that pasta texture, or rice as a texture, to get healthy. But I think it's convenient. I think for the price point for chef-prepared meals delivered to your door, I think you really can't beat it.
Yeah, you can't. That's a really good deal. You definitely can't beat that.
And we did our research. We tried some of the other stuff, and some of the meal companies that come in a little bit less in price. Honestly, the meal container fits in the palm of your hand, and it's meant for somebody that's like bodybuilding or something like that, that's eating eight meals a day, 9 meals a day, really pacing it out. So ours is more for the regular folk.
Right. So, and that website again was Full Circle.
So the website for that is fcfoodgroup.com.
fcfoodgroup.com.
That's cool.
That's right. And of course, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dorks and Forks. And make sure you subscribe to our channel on your Apple Music and your SoundCloud accounts, and hopefully wherever you listen to your podcast.
Yeah, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. So, and Dan, the next place will be is at Cult Movies and Trivia, the first Tuesday of every month. So the first Tuesday in October at Oddity Bar here on Green Hill 9
Avenue.
p.m., 21 and over.
That's right. And our movie this year, or this Halloween.
So yeah, we Night of the Living Dead. It'll be the first Tuesday. And remember, it's always free to play, free to come and watch the movie and win awesome gifts from our sponsors. Pabst Blue Ribbon. We've got Between Books. We have Delaware Normal, the big Canvas advocacy group. And now His and Hers.
His and Hers.
Oh, and ageofthenerd.com.
That's right.
Hope to see you then. Thanks so much for wasting another hour of your life listening to us. See you next time, Dorks and Forks.
Goodbye.
Dorks and Forks is brought to you by His and Hers Adult Boutique. Hosted by Dan Sanchez and Brian Wild. Produced by Heather Brand and Brian Wild. Edited and engineered by Brian Wild. Music and theme song by RKVC. To be a guest on our show, message us on Facebook or Instagram, and don't forget to like and subscribe while you're there.